Alright guys, I know some of you have been wondering about what we did on this thing. Wow, you're not going to believe this crazy. Looking at all the comments and the posts that you guys posted on the other video, you were all right. Except the leaf springs weren't broke. When I got the tires off and was looking inside, well, last night a few of you had commented about the U-bolts being loose. When I saw those, I came out here and checked them, and sure enough, the damn U-bolts were loose. I could move them with my hand. Moved everything out of the shop, pulled the truck, the Jeep in. When I got the tire off and was looking at it, this one, I couldn't see the pin sticking out of the leaf springs. So I thought maybe it was just gone or whatever. I just couldn't see no pin sticking up out of the plate, where the U-bolts are coming through. Then we had jack stands under here. We had, all the crazy up underneath here. I got the bracket off, took the U-bolts out, dropped the axle down. When I went to try to take the bolts out of the eyelets of this leaf spring, I ended up breaking my ratchet. The 3/8 ratchet. Yeah. So, broke that. Then I grabbed my other ratchet and I put that on there, and I had 3/4 inch bolt socket on there. Put that on there. Couldn't do it. Put a breaker bar on there. Tried to do it, and then broke this one too. The only two ratchets that I had. Now it don't do nothing. It's all, I don't know if you guys can see this or not. The edge here bulged way out, and now it don't work. Yeah, so broke both of my broke both of my ratchets, the only ratchets that I had. So then I realized that now I can't get those two eyelet bolts out. So I grabbed my little hammer and a chisel, and I took the bands off of the springs of the leaves that were below. Now these leaf springs are 5. There's 5 springs here. Anyway, so I got those off, removed everything. When I took those off, I don't know if I still have it. Oh, yeah, I do. Down inside of the cradle, this was the pin. That right there, that's all that's left of it. This section right here was sitting down in the cradle, and the leaf springs were right up above it. So I don't know where the other part of the pin went, but that's what was on this side. I had to go into town, and I got 2 bolts. They were, at first I thought they were 3/8, but they're not. They were actually 5/16. I got some more bolts. They're not grade 8s. They were automotive black. I can't remember what grade they were. They're better than grade 8s, but got 2 of those, came back home. Now, after I had taken off those 4 springs, stuck the bolt up in there, we had to use clamps, because remember, I couldn't take those 2 eyelet bolts out. I had to take the bands off, drop all of the springs, all the rest of the springs, leave the primary on the truck, and try to assemble everything that way. That was a little difficult. Luckily, Crystal was out here with me, because this entire job would have been just hellaciously, would have made me very mad, because it's, working with these things, I needed another person out here with me. So what we did was, I lined up the holes correctly, and we took clamps and clamped the spring together. Took the 4 and put it up underneath there and clamped the spring together. Just took the bolt up. When we did that, we noticed something kind of weird, that the pattern of the springs was kind of goofy. Because up towards the front of the car, where the hanger was at, and the rubber grommet that was in there, one of the springs extended right up to that. The next largest spring extended right up to that. And I sat there, I was looking at that, I was like, wait a second, something's wrong here with this. But that was the way I took it off. Because I made sure I kept the whole pattern the way it was that I took it off. Well, in looking at the other one over on the other side, you had the primary spring, then the next spring was actually turned around. So the next biggest spring had been reversed this whole time we've had this thing, which might have contributed to our little burnout on our plastic down here. I don't know, maybe there wasn't enough support back here towards the back of the spring or whatever. So we had to take it all apart again, reverse that spring around, spin it around, rebolt it, stick the pin back up through there, or bolt, whatever you want to say. Stick that back up through there, clamp them all together, and then we assembled everything back together. Took the bands, the existing same bands. We went down to O'Reilly's with a list of stuff. We need new bands, leaf spring center pin. I think that's what it was technically called. And we were on, Crystal looked it up online. Went down to O'Reilly's. They had to special order everything, and it would take like 5 to 7 business days to get here. Like, we ain't got that kind of time. I mean, literally all this stuff I can build right here in my shop. So I was like, no, that's all right. Okay, that's cool. But I did buy some penetrating oil. This stuff right here, yeah, blaster penetrating catalyst, PB. Yeah, bought some of that down there at O'Reilly's. Once we got this side all back together, we were pretty down pat on what we're going to do on the other side. Took the wheel off, took the bands off, well, dropped the axle, took all the weight and everything off the axle. Took the bands off, and then when we started taking that one apart, I actually had to pull out my cutting wheel and cut this pin. Look at that. I had to cut that thing off. There was no way I was going to be able to try to wiggle all that out in between all those leaf springs. Yeah. So once we got all that out, other pin in there, grabbed the clamps, clamped it all together, and we were able to put that side all back together. Put the bands back on it, and it was all... So everything's fine now. We haven't driven it yet because, we were tired and, Christmas Eve and we wanted to go do some, go inside with the kids and stuff. But yeah, we're pretty much out here all day because stuff just wasn't operating, wasn't working the way it was supposed to. You're supposed to be able to take these bolts out, It might have helped if I would have had a torch, heat up the bolts and take them out that way. But I didn't have a torch. I don't have no torch. But I can show you one thing. There's that one thing that most everybody in the world has, but I have not ever had. Yeah, a vise. I went down and got that yesterday at Harbor Freight. And I also got this little anvil right here at Harbor Freight. And I'll tell you, I used this anvil today to straighten out those bands that were around the springs. And I used this thing to help put the springs together to put the bolt through before we put them up there. I'm glad about that. That's my little Christmas present to myself. I've been saving up for like 3 months to get it. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy about that. This is my first device I've ever had. Crystal made me this. See that? Brothers of the Throttle. I don't know if you guys can see that in the camera because I got the camera pointed down. But yeah, Brothers of the Throttle. And then she actually made this shirt for me. See that? It's got my ugly mug on the back. Yeah. So now Crystal can make me shirts. It's a little offset, but that's okay.
My woman made this for me.
Yeah, so that was my adventurous Christmas Eve day. Now we haven't totally opened all our Christmas presents up yet, but I'll probably do a video of showing you guys my Christmas presents that I got. And I'm going to expect to see you guys do a video too. Let everybody know like your tool chest, the new tools that you got, stuff like that. I got those. Well, of course I bought those myself, but so that's not really a Christmas present. I mean, it's a Christmas present to me because I bought it. But anyways, guys, I'm going to get on out of here. This video is already long enough. So thanks for all your help. All the comments you guys posted on there really helped me out because it helped us look at certain problems and stuff when we had all this stuff tore apart. I was going to actually bring the camera out and take pictures and do a video while I did it. But we didn't want, well, me or her, I didn't really want anything distracting us from this because, the truck's in the air, we're working with spring-loaded stuff, Yeah, I don't want to have to say, oh, hold on a second, honey, let me grab the camera. I didn't want to do that because I'm a lazy ass. Yeah. All right, guys, see you in the next one.